And welcome to another I wanted to say another live coaching call, but today we're not doing a live coaching call. We're actually doing an interview with a dear friend of mine. So welcome to this month's interview. I do an interview every month and I hope to inspire you with somebody that I know in this interview. Today we're going to interview a very old friend of mine. But before we get into that, I do want to say, first of all, this is going to be my last interview for a while because I'm going on pregnancy leave. It's still so hard to say for me. Pregnancy leave. At the end of this week. So this will be the last interview for a while. I hope to get back with interviewing people in October. Hi everyone. If you have any questions during the interview, then please feel free to ask them via the question tab. In a minute, I will introduce the amazing woman I'm going to interview today. But I do want to tell you that you can still apply for my newsletter. So you can get a free audio training about how to get life you want once it is finished. And I hope to finish it very soon. So today I'm going to interview, like I said, an old friend of mine. We know each other from the pageant industry back in 2015 when we were both competing for Miss Intercontinental. I was Miss Intercontinental Netherlands and she was Miss Intercontinental South Africa. After that, she actually started her own pageant, Mr. and Mrs. Campus. And she is also a radio presenter at, and I'm going to try and pronounce it right, OFM 9497. So let's invite her in. I can't stay. Just a sec. I know this looks like a wine glass, but I'm just drinking water in a fancy way. Hey!
Are you?
How are you?
I'm very well. You look so beautiful. Like I feel I'm not dressed up enough. Am I fine?
Do you see how I look at the bottom? I'm wearing slippers. Can you see them?
No, you're beautiful. So, how's the baby?
I'm fine. How are you? How's the baby? The baby is good. I'm getting really big. So.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
How are you? How are things in South Africa?
Hectic. No, it's hectic. Living in South Africa, it takes a special kind of person to survive here. No, there are so many things going on. Like we've got a very tight, or what I call it, strict lockdown. Our regulations are quite strict. And then we also have something called load shedding. Ever heard of load shedding?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so let me just quickly explain to you what load shedding is, right? So our power supply sometimes just gets randomly cut off by the power supply people. And then we sit like for 2 hours without power, literally. So we have a whole schedule that we operate from. And then you just check your suburb and then you say, oh, okay, so we're going to have load shedding between, let's say, 3 and 6. And then you need to plan because during those 3 hours you won't have power. Yeah, that's how it's going. Anyway,
what?
But we look past that.
They just cut you off from all the power, and what are you doing in those hours?
Yeah, nothing. You play some cards. I don't know. Sit around the fire. Sit around some candles. Keep yourself busy. I don't know.
It's weird, but it actually sounds quite cozy. But not if it's like you have to, like mandatory.
So it's kind of like a thing of I don't want to talk. I'll cut you back because it's really cool living here. A lot of fun. But they kind of not applying the funds, the tax money properly, and then it's not being used properly. And then we, as the taxpayers, actually suffer from that. But anyway, let's not get political. That's not why we're here.
I still want to come to South Africa one day. I was actually planning on going there in 2017 for a pageant as well, but it got cancelled. So
no, it's fun. Like for a tourist, it's great.
Okay, I will remember that. So yeah, like I said, you actually organize your own pageant now, and you also a radio what do you say, presenter? Radio presenter? That's so cool. I really think it's good too. A host, that is better. That sounds a little better. But it's really suits you. I'm not at all surprised that you went that way.
Why? Because of my voice.
You have a very good voice, yeah. But also because you're very on the spot and bubbly and a happy person, and I think I remember you that way.
you know, one thing, sorry, just to touch on that, like what I remember best from our experience together is the way you spoke. What is it? You speak Dutch, right?
Yeah, you speak Dutch.
And I praat Afrikaans. Do you remember, like, we could kind of like have a conversation?
That was so weird. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he spoke South African. I could kind of understood what you were saying, and I could speak Dutch back to you. It was so funny because nobody could speak each other's language, especially the Spanish people. They like the Spanish-speaking girls. They could speak their language, of course, but no, I didn't expect to be able to speak Dutch at all. We did. Yeah. It was so fun.
That's what I love about the pageant industry. Like, it's so diverse.
Yeah, that was what I first wanted. Like, what did you learn from your pageant experience back in 2015, and what you did after that? What did you do after that?
I did Miss Free State. So do you know what the Free State is?
Yeah, kind of.
So the Free State, the Free State is the province that I live in, right? So as I got back in December 2015, I entered Miss Free State 2016, and then I won that. And then, so I was Miss Free State for a year, obviously. And then after that, in 2018, me and my partner, we decided to start Mr. and Miss Campus on all the university campuses in South Africa. We currently have 3, but we'll get into that a bit later. But what I learned about the industry during my experience was that it's very cool. I don't know if you know, but in Germany, I can't remember which country she was from, but there was this girl, she borrowed one of my evening gowns, right? And when I got it back, the zip was torn. So the zip was broken. And I remember having this conversation and ending up realizing that she did it on purpose. So yeah. So that is the industry. I know, it's bad, right? I can't remember the country. But anyway, what I learned was that it's extremely cruel, and for me, the most difficult part of realizing that was, how am I going to stay the kind and joyful and peaceful person that I am without conforming to the industry standard, which is being cruel and being pretentious, right? I believe if you do have a heart for change and upliftment and empowerment, like, the pageant industry is such a powerful platform to become part of. But you need to realize that it is cruel and it is pretentious, and you might kind of have to suck up sometimes, like, the hurt that it does cause you, because there are cruel people out there in this industry.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, it's true. I feel so as well. Like, there were definitely some girls that I'm happy to say goodbye to at the end of it all. Yeah. But there were a lot of also that I really liked, like you, and we're still sometimes catching up, and so that's really fun. But I do think it's like a very double-sided world.
Do you still compete? I don't think you do.
No. No, I'm engaged, and you know that crazy rule that you can be engaged or get.
I also want to be engaged. I also want to be engaged, but that's not happening right now. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Just saying. Just get.
But how old are you? I can't remember. You're
27.
27. See, I'm 24.
Oh, really? I thought you were like my age, but you're still kind of my age, right? Yeah, 24 is a great age to get engaged.
Yeah, tell him he's in the other room.
Okay, maybe he'll watch it back and then he'll just know now. But no, I'm not competing anymore. No, I quit in 2017, and then I started working backstage, and that was even more confusing because I think often the girls in pageantry are very, there are a lot of good girls in pageantry. Like there are a few that are awful, but the organizations, they're like no, they're very, very. Yeah, how do you say it? It's almost like they don't see the girls; they just see the money that they can earn with them.
Yeah, but that's what I mean by pretentious. Like, especially if you're competing on an international level, like to them it's a business. It's a, like, I'm on the back seat now. I mean backstage, being an owner in the industry, and at the end of the day, it's still a business. Like, if you want to do it full time, you have to find a way to actually make money from it. And then some people do reach a point where greed just takes over and all they see is money, and then they'll step on whoever, wherever, whether it's a girl entering the pageant, they'll do whatever it takes to make their money from this thing.
Yeah.
Or the crown.
Yeah, definitely. I actually worked for that level as well, for Miss Intercontinental backstage.
When?
Craziest experience. I think it was 2017 as well, and then in Bremen in Germany for top model of the world.
That's so cool. Well done. And then why did you stop? Because it was like too intense.
Yeah, I wanted to coach people mainly on self-confidence and stuff like that, because I felt like if you do experience like this, at least you get some personal development out of it. Because I grew so much, especially in 2015. I remember coming into the pageant and getting out to it and just being an whole different person. So I thought...
on that, do you think like entering a pageant, sorry, this wasn't part of the planning, but I want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think entering a pageant is a good way to gain self-confidence? Because in my opinion, I think you need to have enough confidence before entering a pageant, because if anything, a pageant is going to break down your self-confidence. So I don't think this industry is a place to say, like, because I've heard many moms that I've worked with saying that, no, I want to enter my little girl into a pageant because she needs to learn how to be confident. Then I'm like, whoa, I don't think entering a pageant is the best way of gaining confidence. You need to have it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me just put it back. Then we're back. So I think you need to have confidence before entering. What do you think?
I think it really depends on the organization.
Let me just fix it. I'm listening to you. Sorry, I forgot my stand at home. Anyway. Right. It depends on?
It depends on the organization. Like, I know an organization here in the Netherlands that's really focusing on self-development during the pageant itself. But I think, especially international, because you're often going alone. Maybe maybe be a little more confident going into it. Yeah, because it is a double thing as well. Because I gained a lot of confidence during pageants, but it also kind of broke me down in some areas, like body image and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a hard industry to come to body image. But I did learn a lot about myself, and that's why I gained some confidence. But I wanted to train people or help girls during the competition to stay confident, because I know that I think everybody cried at one point during Miss Intercontinental, just because of the continent. Yeah, everybody did. It's so normal in pageantry. I don't know why, but no, I do know why. But
cry all the time.
Yeah,
and I think at the end of the day, you need to decide like if it's worth it to you. If those tears you were crying, if the outcome is worth it.
Yeah.
If I can take the Miss Intercontinental, for example, like the traveling was great and all expenses paid trip, and you get to represent your country and whatnot. But I think the tears I had to cry was worth it. But if I take the pageant that I did locally in Miss Free State, when I won that the year after, that was totally worth every tear that I had to cry, because the people I was representing were so much closer to my heart. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you
of course, yeah.
If you compete internationally, it's kind of it becomes this whole image, branding, business, impersonal type of thing. But when it's so super local and in your community, the changes that you are making and the changes that you are seeing in the community are so close to your heart. You can daily observe them, and then it becomes worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, in my community there aren't any pageants at all, but I can relate to what you're saying. Like, I do understand, like, if it's so close to your heart, then it seems better than to do the whole branding thing, because Miss Intercontinental was hectic. It was like a media circus. It was crazy.
Yep.
It was like the only time you had any free time for yourself was when you were on the toilet, basically.
Yep. I'm very breakfast.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I quit pageant industry, because I want to help people, and I noticed that often what you're saying, like, the industry is so divided and so crazy, and organizations aren't really up for that approach that I had for gaining self-confidence and self-development. That was like, oh no, I'm gonna take this into the regular world and not into pageants anymore. But let's get back to you, because you're your own pageant now, and I was wondering, like, what made you decide to organize your own pageant?
I think our whole conversation kind of led up to this question, because I do believe in the power of the platform if it's executed properly. Like, I really do believe that especially in 2020, as women and being as young as we are, we do have the power, because, I mean, the spotlight is on us now, globally, on women, on feminism, on all of those things. I'm not necessarily a massive feminist. I mean, is that the word? Is feminist the word?
I think so, yeah. You're better at English as I am, I think.
I think that's the word. But especially for women, like, the spotlight is on us. If we want to make a change in the world and really uplift our voices and make a mark, this is the time to start doing it. So I do believe in the power of the platform, but I wasn't prepared to sacrifice who I am for this industry anymore. Does that make sense? So it's kind of similar to your story. Like, you wanted to get to a point where you can help people be the best version of them, get fired up to their full potential, right? And then
you noticed that?
I did. I watched the videos. Anyway, so I just decided to channel my passion for the industry in a different direction. Instead of competing, I went behind the scenes. And I'm fortunate enough to have a partner. He's male. He also won a local pageant in our country, in our province, and we decided to team up. And where better to start than students, right? I do believe that school children are a bit too young for this industry, in my opinion, but students are ideal. So we do have 3 campuses operating under us at this point, but obviously 2020 has been horrible. All our university campuses are closed currently, so we can't do anything. But yes, what was my point? Let me just take on my notes. So I do believe if this industry and the platform called pageants is utilized properly, we can really we can make a change. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to, because I also think that students, because I recall from when I was a student, like 2 or 3 years ago, that's the most confusing time of your life, and that is when you need to decide who you are, where you want to make a change, what you want to stand for, and obviously what career you're going to pursue. So that is the best time to imprint something like this onto a person, is when they're a student. Does that make sense?
It does. It really does, because it's the time you're like wondering, who am I? Who do I want to be? And for that moment to enter a pageant, actually develop that they're not persona, like not a brand, but just develop yourself. It's really, it's a great time to do that.
What I always say is, and I've seen, like, we've only been doing this, would have been our 3rd year. Yeah, it's on a hold now, but this would have been our 3rd year, and I can't tell you, like, all the testimonies we've had from students. I always say, like, even if you don't win, if you could have at least gotten to a place where you realize who you are, and this is the industry that I want to be part of, and this is possible for me. Ooh, I can actually talk in front of people. Oh, I can actually walk on a stage. Ooh, I do feel confident with this, and I've made new friends. At the end of the journey, if at least 4 students can tell me that out of the hundreds of entries that we do get, then we've been successful.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing of using pageantry in a positive way, because it does make you develop as a person a lot. And I think those are lessons you take along with you wherever you go. Like, for example, you going to the radio and organizing your own pageant, and me being a coach. Christy became a DJ, and she still uses those talents that she developed there in her day-to-day life. I think there are a lot of girls actually who became something within the creative or entertainment industry after this.
Also, one of our I agree. One of our vision pillars, whatever you want to call it, is we really do want to expose these students, because not most, but like 40 to 50% of the students that do enter our pageant do come from a disadvantaged background, right? So we want, because that's real in our country. That's real. You call that fact. So we do want to expose these students to as many components of the entertainment industry as possible. So we have photo shoots, we have video shoots, we have fittings, we have dressings, we have rehearsals, we go to gyms, we have those live coaching sessions with you, we go to the radio, we do have radio interviews. So we really do want to expose them to so many aspects of this industry if they ever want to pursue any of them.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think that's really great, because I do know a little bit about the situation in your country, and I know that there are a lot of people who are a little bit less, not less fortunate, but have less opportunity necessarily than a lot of people have. So I think it's really great that you're trying to at least show the options that are out there. That's cool.
Like, we need to expose people to what's possible, right? So they can have something to aspire to and dream of and see themselves doing. Otherwise, they're always going to be stuck here if they can't get exposed to what's happening on this level. Like, someone needs to, pull them up.
Yeah, that's a cool. I get it. And what do you hope for the future of Mr. and Mrs. Campus? Do I pronounce it right? Right.
Yeah, you can say it in English. I think it's our accent. We want in Afrikaans, my language, it's campus. And I think like campus. You being that, you also want to say campus, but it's campus, like English.
We say campus as well in the Netherlands. So
but we would spell it with a K in Afrikaans.
Yeah, in the Netherlands as well. Yeah.
But let's say it in English. Let's turn Miss Campus.
Campus. We get it.
Tomato. Anyway, so our dream is to have at least one campus in each of our provinces in our country. We have 9 provinces. Yeah, we have 9. We want to have at least one campus in each province, because we are looking at hosting. Again, we had it a year ago, but it wasn't as big as I wanted it to be. But we do want to host Mr. and Miss Campus South Africa, right? So then we invite all the winners from the different provinces, and it would be ideal if all of those winners can come from under our umbrella, right? So it's Mr. and Miss Campus, SA, and then we own not own a campus, but like a platform in each university in each province in our country. And we've set a goal for 5 years. So we've got a lot of work to do. Yeah,
especially this year, of course, being a little bit a dumper. Yeah. But I think you'll get there. I think it would be so awesome, because then you have like this regular not international, but national title, like first having a province winner, I think, and then doing the international thing or the national thing. That's so cool.
I just want to add on what you said. You placed a lot of emphasis on the organization as a whole. So we now being an organization, I just want to encourage people, if you ever want to enter a pageant, do some research on the owners and what they stand for and their history. Yeah. Because if you enter a wrong pageant where the organizers are greedy and mean and don't want to use a bad word, but then you're going to have a bad experience, and you're going to think this industry is not for you, and then maybe you've missed a chance to make a change in your community.
That's so true. Yeah, I've been in bad pageants and I've been in good pageants, Miss Intercontinental was okay. It was it was you had a lot of exposure, so that was great about it. But what I always did is I would ask former candidates to just some questions, like just on Facebook, look them up, would just ask them like, how was the experience? Because I remember a pageant I did in China, and it was so bizarre and so hectic, and we would get no rest at all and no food at all, and there are pageants out there that really exploit you. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of food.
And like that's a great idea, but don't speak to the winners, right? Speak to, and also not the princesses, like speak to the top 15 or something, because the winner will obviously be, oh no, it's the best, it's great. So speak to the rest of the candidates.
Yeah, that's such a good tip. Yeah, it really does, because I think as winner you kind of are obligated almost to be. Yeah,
because
so
you're the face of the brand. Yeah.
I'm so happy I didn't win anything. Like, can you imagine coming back next year as a winner?
No. And then you're all alone, right? And then you don't know. I cried on the plane all the way to Germany from America. I'm like, I'm so scared.
Yeah, it was. I was so happy that I was 4 hours away from my home because my mom just drove to get me.
Yeah. But I was how old? I was 20. I was 20. I was 20 years old.
I was 23. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Was I 21? But anyway, that's very young to be exposed to so many things.
Yeah, it's so young to be traveling to a completely different world necessarily, because I think the culture is very different from South Africa, right? Germany.
Yeah, oh my goodness, those people are so liberal. Like in South Africa, we are quite conservative when it comes to many things. So to me, it was quite shocking seeing how these girls, because there were bad rumors, like girls doing things with organizers. I'm just like, what?
I know. Don't get me started on that.
Okay, let's not get into that. Okay, fine. Yo, it was bad.
Yeah, but they were. Yeah, I can imagine. They're quite liberal. We're quite similar in the Netherlands, so for me, it wasn't that much of a shock, but I can imagine. Did you remember some girls seeing snow for the first time?
Did it snow? Did you see snow?
No, like not. I think afterwards. I think a few girls stayed longer for a vacation.
Oh, must be nice.
So I always ask people for the last question where your personal power comes from and how you gained it, because I think it's very insightful for people. You often hear you have to stand in your personal power and you have to be confident and stuff like that. But how do you actually do it? So that's why I was wondering, because you were very confident.
Was I? I was going through a horrible time at that point in my life. Can I just put that out there? It was very bad. Things back home were, yeah.
I would have never guessed that. You were so much in tune with who you were. I have to be honest and tell you, I was going through a depression when I was in Germany. It was really the darkest period of my life. But I love Germany. That was a fun experience. But
you're okay now, right? Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay now. Yeah, it was a while. Yeah, I wouldn't get pregnant, and with the hormones and stuff, woof. No, but woof. No, but it was a bad time. It was a bad time. Yeah.
Okay, but you asked about my past. Yeah, I prepared. But this is such a crucial question for any individual, any human being. So I don't want to miss anything. Okay, so for me personally, I hope no one takes offense, but to me personally, it's my faith, and I'm not going to get into my faith because that's you do you and me do me. So to me personally, it was my faith, and still is my faith. But I do believe, and I think you said it as well, the importance of having something you can kind of run to, or something that will strengthen you when you're feeling weary, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, whether it's just pressure from the outside world. Because usually at our age, even younger, pressure is real. Like, when are you going to get married? What are you going to do for the rest of your life? Who's going to be? No, and you have to find something that will ground you and that will motivate you. But looking at an occupation or a job situation specifically, what I've also realized is that it's very, very, very important to surround yourself with people smarter, better, and more successful than you. I don't know if people would agree with me, but to me personally, I get motivated once I'm in a room where people are better than me, where people are more successful, if you want to put it that way, whatever success means to you. But I feel like there's a saying that goes, if you're the smartest person in a room, you're in the wrong room. Because if you constantly surround yourself with people that operate at this level, instead of just being average, there's nothing I hate more than being average. So if you surround yourself constantly with people that can either mentor you in being successful, or that you can see constantly operate at this level to the best of their abilities, then inevitably you're going to get to a point where you strive to be the best version of you, so that you can compete with these people. So I would just say, like, make sure that you're sorry. Yeah?
I'm like,
Okay, go. Your turn.
It's just such a good advice. I really think it's so true, because we're used to comfort and doing the thing we know, and then we surround ourselves so much with people that are maybe negative, but if they're not negative, just accepting like where they are and not striving much. I totally agree with surrounding yourself with people that have more success than you do.
But on the flip side, I do think there are people that will agree, like, if, let's say, for example, I am the smartest and the most successful in the room, that will actually motivate people to keep on being that. But then, once again, then you step out of that circle of people into a new environment or a new industry or a new workplace, then you realize, oh, damn, I'm not as good or as smart as I thought I was. Because that's why it's important to actually go out and look for people that are smarter and better and more successful than you, and don't feel intimidated by them, because see them as they also go to the bathroom. See them as motivated for you to live up to your full potential. Yeah,
that's a great one. And what do you want to say after that, before I cut you off because I was too excited?
What? Say again?
What did you want to say after that before I cut you off because I was way too excited?
I can't remember. I think I said everything I wrote down. These earpods are speaking to me in some kind of alien language. And the last point I want to make. Sorry, no, they if I touch them, they go off. So if I touch it again, it goes on again. So anyway, it's being weird. Last thing I want to say is that life is a series of trial and error, right? Like, and if you know something doesn't work for you, try something else, especially if you're our age. Like, seriously. There's this guy that once said, you have until the age of 30 to really mess up. Then you need to decide. Then you need to know what's working and what's not working. So we have a lot of time left. Don't be too hard on yourself. Trial and error. If something doesn't work, try something else.
Yeah. There's this quote that I really love. There's nothing, failure doesn't exist, just learning from your fault exists. But failure doesn't exist. So that's a good one. Like, I think you have your whole freaking lifetime to mess up, to be honest. I remember thinking when I got, usually when you grow up and you think about the point in your life when you're finished with school and starting your family and stuff like that, you think, oh, I will have everything figured out. Oh, it's so true. Like, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Like, everything is just trial and error. If I have a baby, I have a baby. I don't know how to make a bottle, but I'll have a baby.
I have no clue. I hope I'm
No, no, but that's the thing. Oh, I actually have to go to work, but I just want to say a last thing.
Yeah.
Um, on the baby note, and I think that that's applicable to many areas in an individual's life, it's part of your nature as a woman, know how to handle certain situations related to a baby, right? And I also do believe that's kind of true once you're operating in an environment and work related where it's your passion and where it's kind of in your nature to, because let's take my radio job now, for example. There are sometimes that I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but then kind of something just takes over, and then I have control over the situation, and that to me is an indication that I'm busy with the right thing, because it's part of who I am clearly, and it's my passion, so it comes more easily and naturally to me. So that's a great indication to know if you're operating in the right area.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's really good, and I hope it's so true for the baby thing.
So it is. I promise it is. You'll see. You'll see.
Well, thank you so much for the interview, and good luck with your work, and good luck with the pageant as well. I really hope it gets ongoing fast again.
Even me. Listen, if I ever were to immigrate, I might come to Netherlands. Okay.
Okay, you're welcome. You can come in anytime you want. People are shocking here though. Like we say every freaking thing. So, and we're not the kindest, to be honest. But I do love it here. It's great
there
here.
Are so many South Africans going to Netherlands, especially Netherlands, New Zealand, and Australia and Canada. Like the South Africans, that's where they're going.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the interview, and good luck to you today with work, and good luck with the pageant. If it's going on again, or if you're continuing organize it and the pandemic is over and stuff like that, then please let me know. I'm really curious about how things are going to be, and I fully believe that you will have the national pageant within all the states and stuff like that in a few years.
I take that. Thank you. Good luck. Say hello to your fiance.
I will. And to your boyfriend, I have never met him, but say hi to him.
Oh, damn it. I told him to stay outside. But he's here. Maybe one day we'll do another session on like relationship advice. Oh, having a baby advice.
That will be cool. Well, thank you, and have a nice day.
Pleasure. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, the thing is falling.
I can't stay.